That's a tough one. That's a tough pick. That's tough. That is a tough pick. I mean, who do
Yeah, I
you?
know.
What about you? Do you say Army Navy or do you say Harvard
I say
Yale?
Harvard. I say Harvard Yale.
Harvard Yale. Okay. Okay. I know just like the Rangers and Islanders, they don't like each other. those two
Nope.
schools those two schools don't like each other.
No, they don't.
They're full of brainiacs. Obviously, the smart kids all go to both those schools.
Right.
Um, so it's. I just found it quite fascinating this year that they again almost had to suspend that game in overtime because of darkness. I can't. So they don't have lights at that stadium. So you would think after this year's game they would install lights just in case that happens again in the future. Because I think the ESPN guy said that this is probably the most interesting Harvard Yale game he had ever been to. So I guess the rivalry just keeps getting better between those two schools.
Yeah. Why would that be any different?
Well, and it shouldn't be because really, if you think about it, outside of playing each other, they really don't play anybody. I mean, it's not like that they go out and play any big schools. They don't play in the SEC or the ACC. They don't play anybody
No.
like that. So, I mean, in a way, in a way, that's their big game every year is playing against each other. So
Right.
they look forward to that. And speaking of one of those bowl games, so you have the Hawaii Bowl and you have Hawaii versus BYU. That ain't very far for either one of those schools to travel. BYU's
Right.
in Utah. Hawaii's going to play a home game, so that's interesting. The other thing that's interesting to me is that the Gasparilla Bowl here in Tampa, Marshall played in that game last year against USF and beat them. This year they get UCF, so we'll see how that all buckles down. And did you hear about USF Lewis hiring Coach Scott as their new head coach? What's your opinion on
I
that?
think I did. I didn't hear too much of it though, to be honest.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it's a big thing down here. I'm done taking over for Charlie Strong, and I listened to the press conference today on my phone at work, and he predicts that he wants to go beat UCF, which is major because they haven't beat them in 3 years. So, and speaking of head coaches, Greg Schiano's back at Rutgers.
I
How do you think
heard.
it's going to work out now that he's back at
I don't
Rutgers?
know. And they say he can't go home again. Well, I'm a skeptic. I don't really.
Okay.
I can't really tell how it's going to be, but Rogers has been so bad. I think it's going to take more than Shiana to get that team, where they need to be.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. I mean, do you see him, Lewis, being there for 3 years, 4 years before he gets the program back to where it was at? Do you see it
It's
taking
going to take
that?
a lot longer to get that team back.
Okay. Well, I mean, now they're in the what? They're in the Big Ten, right? Is that what conference they
Right.
play now? Yeah. Ooh, that's tough. When you play in a conference with
Murder.
the Michigans and Ohio States and the Minnesotas and all that, that's hard. That's hard. That's that's a hard conference to play in. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I saw that the other day that they had rehired Shiano. He took a shot at Tennessee though. He said something about all those rednecks in Tennessee couldn't find a way to hire me, so I guess I returned home to New Jersey. Ooh,
Where have I heard that one before?
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the bad news is he ever has to go against Tennessee in a bowl game or in at a conference game, and
Yeah.
it's in Tennessee. Ooh, boy, they'll remember that.
Well, what do you expect from a place that you're allowed to marry your third cousin? Oh
Yeah,
boy.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Oh
Yeah,
boy, that's bad.
yeah. They don't take too kindly to those comments, in Tennessee. So
Right.
he dug himself a hole. If they ever have to go to
Yeah.
Tennessee in the future. Um, and I saw that Greg Ogeron won Coach of the Year, NCAA, the
Yes,
football.
I think.
Orgeron.
So, oops.
I agree with that. I mean, he did lead LSU to undefeated season this year. Let's see real quick. Is the Ravens Jets game on the NFL Network?
Yes, it's also on Fox.
It's also on Fox. Okay, I'll put Fox in. Easier to go there. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. You know what? I will have to say, I do like the Jets going back to that old green with the Jets you spelled out to the NY. I remember, when I was younger, growing up watching football, that I remember them wearing the Jets logo with the Boomer Esiason and all those, all that.
Sure.
Not the logo that's above Troy Aikman's head right now in the booth. That's the one that had been on their helmets for years with the white with the green logo.
Right.
I like that they've gone back to the old, the Jets spelled out with the darker green. There's another thing too. They've been talking about Jason Garrett, being fired, in Dallas. That's the speculation at the end of the season. You're going to see that. I guess the question I have is, how in the world is Adam Gase going to retain his job with how bad the season's gone for the Jets?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I know, Louis. They already announced that he was coming back. I know that they already announced that he was going to return next season. I don't see how they can justify that when it's been so bad. I mean, it's been terrible this year. And you're a Jets fan, and so is my best friend. And, he told me, he said, I don't even watch him anymore. He said, I haven't watched a Jets game all season. I said, well, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't, they gave the Dolphins and the Bengals both their first wins. And so far, that's the only team that Cincinnati's beat this year. And speaking of the Bengals, what is your thoughts on the whole Patriot getting caught again spying on the Bengals?
Once a cheat, always a cheat.
Yeah, well, that's how I think a lot of people are going to view that moving forward. Is that's just the way it's going to be. No matter what happens, like you said, once a cheat, always a cheat. So yeah, it's not really good right now too, because again, you've lost 2 games in a row. Now, you really didn't need to do that against the Bengals, who really are playing for probably the first overall pick, which, as I think we both can know, might be Joe Burrow from LSU.
Yes.
No matter who wins the national championship. So it comes down to, why, what's the reasoning behind it. I don't really know, in all honesty, why he needed to do it, but you got caught sticking your hand in the cookie jar far too many times, and I guess the Patriots just don't keep doing it. Yeah, they're gonna keep doing it until they get their hand chopped off, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know how else to go into it. How else to explain, what they've done. That I don't know. I mean, not to switch teams on you, but I mean, the convincing question we have down here in Tampa is, are the Bucs going to re-sign Jameis Winston? Again, last week he threw 3 interceptions, but he threw for almost 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. So the question is, do you take a risk and sign him, or do you let him go and you have to start from scratch with a new quarterback next season? I don't know how. I think it's going to depend, Lewis, on what happens in the next 3 games that the Bucs have left in the season. That's all I can say. I mean, that's all I can say. I don't know the answer to that question, but yeah. Ooh, there's almost a pick. That was almost a pick 6.
I know.
Well, at least they forced him to punt on the first drive. That's good. You got a defensive. I mean, and the Jets have the best run defense in the league. I heard earlier before the game started the Jets possess the best run defense in the league, so that's pretty good. At least they will get tested here tonight with Lamar Jackson and company. There's Sam Darnold. All right.
Yeah, at least he's gone over his ghost episodes.
Yeah. Yep. Seeing
With the
ghosts
Giants, oh boy.
Well, so Eli gets a start. So I mean, is this the last time we've seen him in a Giants uniform, or is it the last time we've seen him in the NFL? Do you
Last
think
time he's seen the NFL, period.
NFL? Okay.
Bye-bye.
So you don't think, Lewis, that there's anyone out there that will take him on as a starter or veteran? No. Okay. I say I agree with you on that. I think his best days are way behind him. I think the last few years he has been just on who he is, what his last name is, and stuff like that.
The way you've been playing so far in recent times, your new name is Mud.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Lewis, is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm going to go ahead and hop off here in a few minutes. Is there anything
Right.
else?
No, I think we covered it all, so we'll leave it at that.
And now your show is on Saturdays, right? 6 to 8, right?
5 to 7. Now it's 5 to 7.
5 to 7, and I got the number. So,
yes.
And I don't have anything going on. And I know I keep saying that to you. I don't have anything going on Saturday, so I won't be at roller derby or anything like that. So I think I'm going to be able to call in around 7 o'clock, the end of your show. I'll call in so I can talk to you.
Remember, I'm on 5 to 7, not 6 to 8.
Yeah, I'll call in around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere around that neighborhood. I'll give you a ring.
Okay,
that way,
because it's the last chance before the end of the year.
I will do that.
And remember, we're moving to another service in January.
Yes, that is correct.
I will Facebook the number to you.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Well, Lewis, as always, thank you, buddy, for coming on and talking to me.
You got it. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So that was Lewis. Just to get back, I was at roller derby last Saturday, and the result was not pretty for Deadly Rival, as the team. It was a travel match, and the Seattle Trash Pandas came down here and put up a 191 to 81 thropping of Deadly Rival. The skater that lives above me was not happy with the results. There were a lot of people, a lot of fans that I had talked to after the game, while I was there, that were not happy with the result. As we know, things get changed. Sometimes it's just the way it happens. Things happen. But guys, I'm gonna be there. April of this upcoming year in 2020. I will have been going to roller derby for 2 years. It has been exciting. I have met some fascinating people that are great people, and every one of those skaters that skate, whether they're on the team, fresh meat, beginning fresh meat, whatever it might be, they're kick-ass. And I'm gonna say that right now. Every single one of them girls are kick-ass. Some of them, they know their roles. Other people are trying to, get in their roles. So, it's gonna be cool next year watching them all year. I got the schedule already for next year already. They have an event. The event that I messed up and apologized to them is coming here in November of next year. I'm going to try to go to that tournament and of course, their bout in November as well. So, again, guys, it did not go as well